So, hi there everybody. Okay, so Oksana, I'm going to answer Oksana's question immediately. Tend versus tend to. I think you tend to something immediately. I need to tend to an urgent matter. But I need to tend, or I tend this matter. It has more an idea of something you do regularly. So you tend to something that needs to be done now. There's water coming in into the kitchen. There's water flooding into the kitchen. I need to tend to this. But for example, you tend your garden. So let's see. You tend somebody's grave. You habitually look after it. I need to tend to their grave. I think that you... it's in a mess, it's overgrown and it needs to be looked after. Okay, so let's see. Next stream is on Tuesday, which is the 14th of May at 10 AM UK time. Okay, I'm sorry about the music in the background if it's interrupting. So hi there to everybody. It's wonderful to see you all. So hi to Vitali, to Ronan, to Roland, to Oksana, to Vitali, to Patricia. Hi Patricia. To Manisco, to Elena. Hi there to Bogdan as well. Great to have you all here. So let's get started. We've only got a few to start with, but I'm sure the numbers will ramp up as we go on. Hi there, Immutable Universe. So here we go. This is the original article. Britain's World War II island, mysterious island of death. My gosh. Okay, and hi Polly, lovely to have you. And yes, in the 1960s, the BBC set out to local reports of secret, shocking World War II experiments, dangerous contamination and unexplained animal deaths on a island off the coast of Scotland. Set out to gather local reports. Investigate looks pretty good. To gather, I guess you could gather. To uncover. To make public. I quite like make public, even though it's two words, Oksana. To canvass reports, that would work as well. To look into, yes. To examine, yes, Bogdan. The remote island, well done, Patricia. To decipher, that would work, Ronan. To unfold. A remote island, yes, Julia. Normally the story unfolds. So the reports unfold. You don't normally unfold something a person. It's normally the story unfolds. So the object and the subject are the other way round. A desolate island. Yeah, desolate island would work. To search. Set out to search local reports. Hi Katia, nice to see you. Unfortunately, searching, not really. Remote island, yes. To expose. Expose is a good word, Patricia. On a deserted island. Deserted, good, Bogdan. To disseminate. I like disseminate. To consider. Or on a forgotten island. Okay, good, Polly. Please like. To garner reports. To garner, to collect. To uncover, yeah, a remote island, an uninhabited island, yes. A lost island. Haikute. To unravel local reports. I like unravel, Maggie, that's a good word as well. To reveal local reports, I quite like that one. Hi Sid. To dissect. To disseminate. Okay, so they set out to investigate local reports of secret, shocking World War II experiments. And on a remote island, to circulate is good. Forgotten island, yes, Elena, that's good as well. So hereabouts, they call it the island of death, the mystery island. And for good, hi back Maninov, lovely to see you. And for good, said windswept reporter Fyfe Robertson as he stood across the sea from the remote and desolate Scottish island of Gruinard in 1962. A castaway island. Yes, normally a person is a castaway, but it would work. Hi, AK. Ooh, I like this. So, this is very good. And for good reasons. But, let's see. We've had reasons for Oksana and Ronan and Vitali, but Patricia has put for good reason. And so has Sid. And normally, and for good reason. Normally, we usually use this phrase in the singular, not in the plural. And for good reason. Yes, it's singular. Exactly, Patricia. For good reason. It's singular. For good causes. But for good causes says they're doing it for charity. But normally, I'm doing this for good reason. Even if there are various reasons. Yeah, normally we say for good reason. It's a singular phrase. And for good reason. For good reason, yes. Yes, Oksana. Not a good reason, for good reason. Okay, that's a good point, Oksana. For those of you who have problems with articles definite and indefinite. Okay, for good reason. I'm doing this for good reason. He does this for good reason. Reason being uncountable. Whoops. Now, this is not a story of old, dark, or Highland superstition. No, this story started in 1942. And deservedly so, and for good reason. That's a good synonym. The singular encompasses the plural in this case. Yes, Patricia. Of old dark times, dark epochs, dark nights, old dark tales, old dark exploits. All of these seem to work of old dark ages. Think a little bit of alliteration. Thank you, Deepak. You are so kind. It's lovely to see you, Deepak. It's going to have to be plural. Dark feats, dark fables, dark times, dark myths. I like dark myths. Myths is a good word. Okay, so old dark, that's it, Vitali. Dark deeds. Or Highland superstition. Thank you, Deepak. You're such a generous person. A subject is the person who is the person. The verb is the action. So the subject is the person who acts the verb. Dark days. Dark days would be good as well. I like dark days, Elena. So dark. I like dark myths. I like dark deeds. Dark days. Dark feats would work as well, Katia. Nice to see you, Katia. Okay, so dark deeds as it says. Dark past. So let's put this up. And go and go. Okay, so dark mystery for Maggie. Yes, dark annals. I like the annals. Dark accomplishment, dark acts. So the war had been going on for 3 years when suddenly a group of scientific enthusiasts, you can do better than enthusiasts, experts, researchers, I like, researchers, high white stripes, So okay, clandestine is the ice cream word for the second one, white stripes. Experts, clandestine for Bakhmaninov. Researchers for immutable. Scientific zealots. I like scientific zealots. Scientific moguls, scientific pontiffs. What's the word? What's the word for this? There's an English word for a scientist. Okay, enthusiasm. No. So enthusiastically. Scientific tank from. Ooh, a group of scientific. So it would, okay, let's see, when suddenly a scientific think tank, enthusiastic, scientific workers, scientific fanatics. What's this word for a scientist? What's this word for the guy in the white coat in a science fiction film? So confidential, good, immutable, so furtive. Workers, yes, Julia, lovely to see you, by the way. Aficionado. An aficionado is somebody who's not professional. Professors. Professors is a good word as well, Maggie. Great to have you, Abdul Rahman. Okay, so scientific bugs. I'm going to have to give you the word. I don't believe it. More clues. It begins with B. A B word for a scientist. Okay. Buffs. Ooh. That's very good. Experts. Boffins. Boffins. Researchers. A boffin. A boffin is a scientist. Yeah? Is a scientist who knows about things. Yeah? It's a word we Brits use quite often. So a scientist, a boffin. So secret. It was secret. I like clandestine though. I don't know who that was. So let's continue. Boffin. Okay, so it's a good word, Oksana. Good. The people were told nothing. The people were told nothing. Good, Vitali. Well done, Vitali. The regular people. The townspeople. I like that. The native people. The local, the ordinary. That's definitely it, Oksana. The indigenous people. The local people. Yes, Patricia. I'm certain I've got a video on boffin. I better check though, because you never know. Normal people, local people, rural people. I like rural's a good word, Jake. Local for Maggie, yes. Notice the locals, Gatia, or the local people. The average people, the lay people. Yes, boffin is a very common word in British English. It's very common in British English. Notice it's in this article itself. The general people, the common people, the local people were told nothing. Okay, the local people were told nothing. Okay. The habitual people. Boffin. It's a good word. Robertson was aiming to investigate the stories of dangerous government experiments that were to have happened on Gruinard. A nerd. Yeah, it's a nerd, but it's got the idea of an expert as well. Yeah? Hi, Rainyard. Lovely to have you. Were presumed. Good word, Oksana. Were set. But set is talking about the future, Bogdan. Local, yes, AK. Supposed to, yes, Roland. Were said to, yes, Oksana. Were suggested to have happened. Were originally. Were assumed, Jake. Were thought to have happened, yes, Reignard. Yes, Roland. Were believed to have happened. Yes, Vitali. Hi, Funda. Were rumoured. I like rumoured, although it's not the one they used. Well done, Backmaninoff. Thought to. Good, Funda. Were assumed. Yes, Manisco. Were believed to have happened by Elena. Were believed. ED, immutable. Were rumoured. Yes, Vitali. Were suspected. What's the word? Boffin. Boffin, Mrs. Grant. Were believed with a D, Katia. Were suspected to have happened. Believed. Were speculated. Alleged is a good word. Hi, Zach. Lovely to see you, Zach. So they were believed to have happened. Yeah, these things were believed to have happened. Buff has a very similar meaning to a boffin. And that's why I was really impressed with Vitali's word buff. Hi, Tigran Titan. Were alleged, were believed to have happened on Gruinard. Hi, Vishal. Lovely to have you. Good. At the time he was reporting, the UK's Ministry of Defence had already declared the island off, and Robertson couldn't persuade fearful locals to sail him around the island to get a closer look at it. A boffin is a scientific expert. So the boffins at Bletchley Park deciphered the Enigma code, for example. Well done, White Stripes. Well done, both of them. Well done, Vitali. Speculation, yeah, were speculated. So, couldn't count on. Limits, definitely Backmaninoff. Counts on. Out of bounds as well, yes. Off limits. Out of bounds. You can actually say off bounds, Vitali as well. Were deemed to have happened. Could be deemed, but I think the government is deeming that nothing happened. Couldn't persuade, yes, Oksana. Limits, yes, AK. Persuade for Vitali. Boffin pundit, no, Boffin is a scientist. A pundit can be an expert. You could have a football pundit, but a boffin is a scientist. He's a scientist who knows about it. Let's see, in James Bond, Q is the boffin who has all sorts of inventions for James Bond. Couldn't convince, yes, Patricia. Off limits, yes, Elena. Couldn't persuade, couldn't make, yes, Bogdan. Off limits, yes, Maggie. Couldn't urge. Couldn't coax or coerce, that's good, White Stripes. Couldn't persuade for Jake. Persuade for Elena. Couldn't persuade, yes. Couldn't convince, that's pretty good as well. Convince for Sid as well. Persuade for Katia. Persuade for Reignard. Couldn't convince for Elena and Maggie. Off reach, no, off limits or out of bounds. Couldn't bring around fearful locals to sailing. Yes, bring somebody around to doing something. Slang, boffin. I think I'm going to give boffin a 4.5 in formality, Patricia. Could not force. Bletchley lies. Couldn't budge fearful locals. I would say budge them into doing. Couldn't coax. Yes. It was off limits. Couldn't cajole as well, to cajole somebody to do something. So it was off limits, and they couldn't persuade. Let's try the next one. So Patricia, slightly informal, but not very. Budget. No, budget doesn't work. Bribe might work, though. Couldn't pay them to do it. Couldn't get them to do it. Okay, so Tigran, definitely. Good work, Tigran. Well done, Vitali. Calamity, crisis. Couldn't bear on. Bear would work as well. Disaster. Yes. And a hazardous area. Yes. Of environmental catastrophe. Good. Crisis would work as well. Disaster. And a fertile. The opposite. Infertile. It would be the opposite, white stripes. A dangerous, a hazardous area. An environmental disaster. An environmental catastrophe. Good, Sid. Well done, Roland. Environmental disaster. Yes, Patricia. An iron... No. So that's a person. Huh. A dirty area. It would have to be an adjective, Manisco. A dirty area. A contaminated area. Environmental crisis, a dangerous area. An environmental dilemma. Productive for the second one, no, but dilemma for the first one, yes. And a no-go area, an off-limits area. It's a no-go area. A no-go area, an off-limits area. Well done, Vitali. A disaster area. A taboo area. Taboo is normally about talking, but I might just accept it, Bogdan. A dangerous area. And Gyogo Garcia too, yes. A dead area. Dead is good, Oksana. Environmental extirpate area. Near a godforsaken area, a contaminated area, yes, Sid, a perilous area, detrimental. Hi, Shrini. Detrimental, no, something is detrimental for your health. Activist taboo, neither of those work, Julie. An environmental disaster and contaminated area. Diego Garcia, thank you, Gramps. A barren area, barren works. It was an environmental catastrophe. There you go, Maggie. And a dangerously contaminated area. A run-down area. No, nobody lived there. A dangerous area. A barren area. Down at heel. Okay, down at heel. I think that's the corrector kicking in, Vitali. A noxious area. A deserted area. Critically toxic, a no-go area. So it was an environmental catastrophe, a disaster, and a no-go area, somewhere where you weren't allowed to go, a polluted area. Bikini Atoll, I think, is one of these as well. Down dead area. And a dead area, just without the dead. It was a dead area for nearly half of the century. And an out of bounds area, a no-go area. Good. So let's try the next one. An environmental calamity. Calamity's a good word, Patricia. The truth was that Gruinard Island had been the site of by the UK during World War II to anthrax, a deadly bacterial infection. Secret, yes. A bombing. A failed attempt. Failed is good, Oksana. To cultivate, good Backmaninov. I like both of them. To deploy. Deploy is a good word as well, Oksana. A failed attempt. To manufacture, good Vitali. A desperate attempt, good Jake. To utilize, yes, Oksana. Unsuccessful attempt of an of an unsuccessful attempt, yes. A classified attempt to spread, good Renyard. A vain attempt, vain would work. A restricted area, yes Elena, a no-go area. Too prone to. Doesn't quite work, Shrini. A crucial attempt, crucial works. A government military attempt. Hi Nad, lovely to see you. To spread anthrax. Hush hush attempt. Hush hush is very good, Vitali. To cultivate, to disseminate. I like disseminate, Renyard. A deadly attempt from Elena. To study anthrax. It's warm and you're dressed for winter. Well look, I've got a t-shirt on, so different thing. So the truth was that it was the site of a clandestine attempt to weaponize. A clandestine attempt to weaponize it. To curb. An undisclosed and unrevealed attempt, definitely. The exact details of what had happened there would only when in 1987 the government declassified a film that the military had at the time which detailed the experiments. Well done, White Stripes. Good work, White Stripes. Good Vitali. Well done, Oksana. And that's the other one, Jake. Well done. Well done, Bogdan. Had stowed away. Yeah. Stowed away. Had hidden. Yes, White Stripes. Come to light. Had documented. I think documented. Come to light. Good, Burb. Good to see you, Burb. Would only emerge to the public. Yet to the public. You need the Nad, but yes. Had made. That's simple, Oksana, yeah. A surreptitious attempt. Yes, Elena. Would only come to light. Good, Katya. Sorry, that's my bad. That's my bad, Patricia. Would see the light, be brought to light. Would only see the light. Would only come to light. Had made, shot, yes, Bogdan. Had directed. I think directed, probably no. Come to light, yes. Had shot. The military had recorded. That's good. Would only be. Come to. It's come to light. It's got to be come to light. The exact details of what happened there would only come to light when in 1997 the government declassified a film that the military had shot at the time, which detailed the experiment. But notice, Patricia, with see doesn't work with to, would only see the light. See the light. But come to light. Okay, let's try the next one. Come to the fore. Come to the fore works, definitely, Patricia. And let's continue. The project, called Operation Vegetarian, had started under Paul Fildes, then head of the biology department at Porton Down, a military in Wiltshire, England, that's still today. Hi, Burb, great to have you. Porton Down is still around today. A military outpost that still operates today. Good, White Stripes. A facility, a complex. I like that, Vitaly. I like that, Backmaninov. A base as well. Yes, for Bogdan and Patricia. that still stands, yeah, stands works nicely as well, that still operates for Bogdan. A military hospital, it would work, but it's not a hospital. It's somewhere where they do research. A base that still exists. Well done, Renyard. A military establishment. Yes, Maori man. And that still exists for Vitali. Yeah, a military establishment. A military base that still works today. Yes, Burb. Helm. No, Shrini. A military academy. No, this is a place for scientific research. That still is there today. You need an is with that man. That still works today. A military headquarter, a military base. Stowe. It's a little bit formal, a little bit old-fashioned, but you could use it. I mean, I would say, let's see, put away your weapon, Jake. But stow, more formal. A military stronghold. I quite like it. That still exists for Catty. A military base for Gramps. A fortress for Roland. A base that exists for Elena. A compound. Compound's a good word. That still operates today. A campus. Campus is a university, maybe. Research headquarters. That's still in effect. Let's see, Maori. Normally it's a law or a rule that is in effect. Okay, and continue. That's still present today. I like present. I think works quite nicely, Sid. Porton Down had first been established in 1916 as the War Department experimental station to study the effects of chemical weapon agents which were being used as World War I were alarmingly being used. So, a military institution. Proceeded for the second one. Yes, Vitali. Which were frequently used. Frequently is a good word as well. Surprisingly being used. As World War I marched on, I like marched on, were extensively being used. Weapon, yes, it works, Bogdan. Raged, ooh, raged is a good word as well, Oksana. Were first being used. Which were unlawfully being used. Which were frequently being used. Thank you, Vitali. Which were increasingly being used. As World War I erupted, good Sid. Routinely being used, good word Renyard. Broke out, good Renyard. Which were ubiquitously being used as WW1 Star Ted. Which were allegedly being used. I like allegedly because they're both denying it. Which were openly being used. Yes, Maori, definitely. Which were... No, but it's all right, Bogdan. Which were adverb, which were sadly being used as, okay, as a World War I weapon. You need an A, don't you? Happens frequently and extensively. Which were extensively being used. As World War I unfolded. In this case, Elena, unfolded works very nicely. As World War I proceeded, were still being used. Okay, which were increasingly being used as World War I progressed. So they're being used increasingly, more and more and more. Okay. In the 1940s, with Britain at war again, Porton Down was with developing biological weapons that could be used against Nazi Germany to okay, so now which were being used across the front as which were being used across the front. It has to go afterwards as the work as it stagnated incessantly. I think incessantly probably works. I'm glad you like it, Mrs. Gramps. This is very difficult. Was entrusted with, well done Vitali, good word, was tasked with, good Oksana, which were callously being used as it unfolded. That's great, Elena. Were burdened would work quite nicely as well, to counter the effect. Entrusted with, I'm not very happy with counter Oksana, was responsible for, with devastating effect, good Vitali, devastating effect, was introduced, no, was obsessed with developing, good White Stripes. That's good, no, so that, obsessed with, to devastating effect, that obsessed is Bakhmaninov, thank you Bakhmaninov, was charged with, that's the right word, Maori. Was shouldered, was tasked with, was charged with, was so. Okay, so Porton Down was charged with. I liked tasked with, and there was another one that worked nice. Was entrusted with, was tasked with, was burdened with, was charged with. To aggressive effect was, no, it doesn't work, Burb. Porton was engaged with, who's that? That's Sid. I'm engaged with works. Okay, to double down. To double down. Hi, Emin, lovely to see you. Great. So let's try the next one. The plan was to linseed cakes with anthrax spores and drop them by plane into cattle pastures around Germany. Was made responsible for, yeah, was charged with, was tasked with. Was to laden. Yup, it works. Was to infest, good Jake. To plant. But then drop them by plane. Plant doesn't work, Bakhmaninov. To stuff, yes, Oksana. Hi, Hope, lovely to see you. To make, yeah, that's simple, Bogdan. To imbue, yes, Maori. Was to mix. Yes, mix would definitely work as well, Burb. To contaminate, good word, Oksana. To land, no. Busy with. How? I think so. They busied themselves with Shrini. To contaminate, yes, Vitali. You'll be fine if you undress, Patricia, it's hot. To infect, yes, Sid. To inject, to infuse, good. To imbibe, so well done White Stripes and Gramps. Contaminate, yes, Roland. To infect, yes, Maori. To taint, taint is a good word. To produce, yes, Bogdan. To mar, to spike, spike definitely was. The plan was to deploy. To deploy, I guess you could deploy it as a weapon, but it's got this idea of spike, adulterate, pollute, contaminate, to infect. Okay, the plan was to infect linseed cakes with anthrax spores and drop them by plane into cattle pastures. To produce. tamper with, yeah. To manufacture, definitely Patricia. The cows would eat the cakes and contract anthrax. Those who ate the infected meat. Okay, you infect with a disease, you infest with an insect. So this place is infested with ants. This place is infested with cockroaches. But this water is infected with typhoid. Infect is a disease, infest is an insect. Hello, Rishi. To pass the moment. To toxicate. They're two words. Two different words, Burb. Yeah, they're two different words. As well as those. That's three. That's pretty good, though. Infecting thus. As well as those who ate the infected meat. That's the idea. Well done, Vitali. There you go. Well done, Vitali. That's a very good answer. As well as the ones... No, it's additionally. Thus infecting. Yes, Renyard. And then be transmitted. Infecting all. Your divas will thank you. Yes, Cramps. Much like those. Yes, good, Vitali. And infect those. So... As would. Damn mad British boffins. Boffin is the perfect word there, Nad. War is war. Boof. The cows would eat the cakes and contract anthrax, as would those who ate the infected meat. Okay, let's try one more, and this is going to be the very last for today. Anthrax is a naturally but deadly organism. And naturally existing, naturally occurring. Good Backmaninov, good Bogdan, good Vitali, good White Stripes. Boffin. We had it earlier now, that's why. Naturally occurring, naturally thrive is a natural germ, not naturally, Manisco. Subsequently infecting those. Yes, Elena, well done. Naturally found, but deadly. Naturally existing, yes. Naturally growing, yes, Roland. Naturally indispensable, it could be. Naturally thriving. As would, much like those, as well as those. And naturally common, so much as those. Naturally made, naturally found, naturally occurring but deadly organism. Okay, I hope to see you on Tuesday, Patricia. So naturally occurring but deadly organism. And I think I'm going to stop there, ladies and gentlemen. So let's put this in here. And next stream will, a scientist Burb will be on Tuesday which will be the 14th of May at 10 a.m. UK time. Soraya! Okay, lovely to have you all. Thank you all for coming. It's been great having you all. So thank you to Bakhmaninov and Burb and Bogdan. Thanks to Elena and Hope. Thanks to Jake and Julia. Thanks to Manisco and Maori and Gramps. Thanks to Nav and Oksana and Patricia. Thanks to Renyard and Rishi and Roland and Sid and Soroya and Vitali and Katia and White Stripes. It's great having you all. Thank you, Bakhmaninov. And naturally curable. Curable would work, Shrini, yes. Hi Uday, thank you. So it's been great having you all. So many thanks to all of you and have a great weekend. So take care and I hope to see you all on Tuesday.